Coming up, the story the administration does not want you to know about, and the book they definitely do not want you to read. A former ATF agent is right here with a sneak peek of his book, which exposes the details, the behind the scenes of the Fast and Furious scandal and the cover-up. That's next. And then later... And welcome back to Hannity. Now, despite ruthless efforts by the administration to cover up the Fast and Furious gun-running scandal, which put an estimated 2,000 guns in the hands of murderers and kidnappers and criminals and drug dealers, and also resulted in the death of Border Patrol agent Brian Terry, my next guest, former ATF agent John Dotson, is now exposing the reality behind this massive cover-up. And in his brand-new book, The Unarmed Truth, My Fight to Blow the Whistle and Expose Fast and Furious, Dotson reveals the story that the Obama White House does not want you to know. Here with a sneak peek, the man himself, former ATF agent John Dotson. How are you, sir? Good to see you.
I'm fine,
thank you for being here. This is a story that I can't believe didn't resonate more with the American people. Our government gave guns, tell me where I'm wrong, to drug dealers, kidnappers, gangs, murderers, and thugs. Is that true?
That's absolutely correct, sir. It's the most violent criminal organizations that our hemisphere has ever seen, and we facilitated the trafficking of at least 2,500 firearms, AK variant rifles, to these organizations.
And we could have put tracking systems on them, couldn't we?
Well, we could have done a lot, sir. We could have interdicted the firearms, for one thing. We could have gone along with the gun dealers or the FFLs, who in the beginning didn't want to make these sales until after they were obligated to do so by our agency. So we could have stopped it from the very beginning. We didn't have to allow any of them to be trafficked.
All right, so you're an agent in the field office, what was it, out in Phoenix, and,
yes,
and this is where all this happened, so walk us through everything that you know.
When I first arrived in Phoenix in December of 2009, I got briefed into the case, which would later be named Fast and Furious. Shortly thereafter, the first time we went operational out in the field, I recognized what I knew to be gun walking. And the walking of a firearm is essentially when it should have been or could have been in law enforcement custody, but it wasn't. The decision is made to let it go. So immediately I started questioning the strategy and the operation, and that got me nowhere with my chain of command, with my supervisors, with my own agency. And I just had this, me and several other agents just had to sit and watch this as it progressed and progressed. And 200 rifles became 400, became 8, and ultimately it was almost 2,500 by the time I left the group in October of 2010.
So, and it resulted in the death not only of Brian Terry, but many other people as well. These guns were used to kill people both in the United States and in Mexico, correct?
That's correct, yes, sir. These guns were used on both sides of the border, in crimes on both sides of the border. And an important thing to note is that the firearms are recovered at the last crime that they're used in. No one can ever tell you how many crimes they've been used in or used to...
Up to that point?
Up to that point, yes, sir.
All right, so you want to reveal this. You want to tell people, hey, wait a minute, Brian Terry didn't need to die. We gave the people that killed him the weapons that killed him.
Right.
How did that go over?
Not very well at all, sir. They obviously did not want me to blow the whistle. It was very embarrassing for my agency and for the administration. And they did everything they could in the beginning to stop it, to discredit me, to retaliate against me, everything they could.
So what happened?
Well, it was a long 3-year period, but finally it's here, and then I've written this. They tried to stop that from coming out. They obviously don't want it. They don't want the American people, like we were talking earlier, to know everything that's involved, to actually see it all in a sequential order written down about how...
It's ugly. I mean,
it's horrible, yes, sir. I mean, it's completely horrible. And I don't think they want anybody to be able to make those connections. And plus, as your segment earlier was talking about the executive branch going outside of control, the book does a lot to empower people, or I think so, and that's one of my intentions with it, is to empower those. Okay, that's what they don't want. That's what threatens them a lot. If they realize, as agents and the people underneath them realize that we do have some power, that is a significant threat to them. As I watched all the other scandals unfold in this, in the past couple of years, the Benghazi, the IRS, everything.
Same MO. They lie, they distort, and they get, and they delay long enough that people say, oh, that's old news.
And attention is diverted, don't look here, look over there. But what they realize and what I realize is that if, those IRS agents who are ordered to target conservative groups, if they realize, I can say no, I can stand up to this administration or any administration, that they can't order me to do things that are illegal or unconstitutional.
How did they try and get you to stop writing this book?
Well, at first they absolutely barred it. They said I couldn't publish it at all because it would harm morale and be detrimental to our relationship with other agencies.
Really? And who told you that?
I ran that all the way up my chain of command to our chief counsel's office in Washington. And
They threatened to sue you? They threatened to put you in jail?
well, they tried to have me indicted when I first blew the whistle. And there have been threats of loss.
Indicted on what charge?
Well, it's called the grand jury secrecy rule, a 60 violation.
Oh.
They tried to make the argument that what information I had released to Congress was in violation of the secrecy clause, and they even tried to suborn perjury from an FFL in order to have me indicted.
Oh, it's a great story, and people need to know it because it's eye-opening. Great job. Thank you for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.